Welcome to Dublin Real, ladies and gentlemen, and I'd like to introduce our very special guest today is Owen Fox from owenfox.org. Owen is a healer, an author, and a coach. By that, I suppose you mean life coach, really, isn't it? Yeah. Like his website says, spiritual life transformation coaching of mind, body, and spirit. Owen deals with topics such as diet, health, anxiety, fear, recovering from illness, self-confidence, we could do with some of that, abundance, and many, many more, because I was looking at the listings and there was like maybe 150. I was not going to list all these. Anyway, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for coming along. And we just actually found out that you're into mixed martial arts as well. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you balance out the spiritual side of things with aggression and people using violence, because that's violence, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're such a peaceful guy.
I am a peaceful person, yeah. It's a funny thing because the person I'm living with at the moment, he's like into like vegan and peace and like just like he's a peaceful type of person.
Yeah.
But you never expect him to be interested in boxing and mixed martial arts too. Yeah. And like we found this thing in common lately, which is like really good. And yeah, we get on like better as a result, because I guess it's just like balance, because for many years I was actually really into spirituality, but it's kind of like almost like my full-time thing. It was like I was doing a crash course in spirituality, or just like learning from books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like really intense, and then I gave up all my other interests almost, which were limited, but kind of limited. But one of them was, the biggest one was like boxing, I suppose. Watching boxing and stuff, following it, and getting up at like 2 and 3 in the morning, like looking forward to a fight for months.
Yeah.
But then around a year or two ago or something like that, I've decided to start watching it again, just a little bit, and follow it. And I just find something to follow. And I know there's like loads of like drama and ego and like madness in it, but I just kind of like looked through that, because the rest of the world is already like full of that, like drama and ego and machoism and like performance and competition. And I'm not actually even like personally interested in competition or anything, but I just take the most of it and see the entertainment value for what it is.
Okay.
And regarding the physical violent part, I just think, well, they're very, very conditioned, and usually it's like generally like safe, and it's just like a bit of bruises or pain. Whereas like you can get killed doing anything, like in like driving, cycling, doing extreme sports, and they probably have a much higher like hurt rate. But it's just two people. Generally it's just physical. Generally it's not all that very emotional or mental, like real proper suffering or that type of thing.
I think personally, like that, when I look at it, I kind of see I think there is quite a lot of spirituality, in the sense that it's a real test of your own personal will. Like it's, for me, like, I like like, to be honest with you, I watch mixed martial arts, I'm actually not that much into the violence side of it. Like when it's a bloody fight or something like that, I'm like, it's like I showed my dad mixed martial arts one night, and I think it was something like maybe a Joe Stevenson fight, and it was one of the bloodiest fights ever, and he was like, oh God, I can't believe you're looking at this stuff. I was like, it's not usually like this. Like, you get a real technical match. Yeah. But like a lot of those guys are very, very spiritual guys. A lot of those fighters, and they're very intelligent. There's only a couple of guys you kind of listen to them, you think, oh yeah, well, he's kind of a thug who's turned professional.
Adrian Broner, right?
You know what? I've never listened to that guy, but only the last couple of days I know, because he got beat by an Argentinian
He's the biggest,
fighter.
Probably one of the biggest trash talkers, and self-proclaimed like next biggest thing in boxing.
More than Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, probably as much as him. They're both buddies. And
okay. Oh God.
Yeah, but he lost, and his whole world is like gone crumbling down a little bit regarding his own immortal invincibility image.
Well, he'll come back stronger.
Yeah, he will come back stronger.
Do we want him to come back stronger?
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah, I kind of do. I'm curious to see how he comes back.
Yeah,
as a person, actually,
come back more respectful though.
Much more respectful,
more humble.
And humble, more down to earth and respectful for other people, because he knows same can happen to him as happens to other people.
Okay, cool.
And, yeah, I wouldn't be interested in the violence part in the slightest bit. Like, generally, I don't really like if it's too violent. But it's just a whole, like, I respect and understand its skillfulness.
Yeah.
And like, it is very technical, and the whole like hand-eye coordination of it, and the whole like training part of it. And see, I used to be really athletic and like just interested in athletics and really, really physical active when I was younger. So yeah, I know the whole like dynamics of like physical and just physical against physical, and then just your own physical nature of like the skill and strategy and competitiveness of it.
Because when a lot of the guys actually do it, like they say that you don't feel it till afterwards. I've been in a few kickboxing competitions outside of not even amateur, but inter club stuff when I lived in the UK. But what the actual during the process, you don't really feel much.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, like when something swells up, you're going, okay, yeah.
Probably the
That's
adrenaline.
sore.
Yeah.
But you feel at the end of it, like this, like when you finish, you're like,
that
was great. Win, lose or draw, you've
Yeah.
exercised your demons,
Yeah.
And the build up is actually worse than the event itself. You worry so much about it coming up to it, and then when it happens, it's like, geez, that was a piece of cake.
Can't wait for next
Fascinating,
time.
Yeah. It's a psychological thing.
Who are your favourite boxers? Do you have any?
Let me see. Probably, I usually like the most the people who I get most connected to or follow the most or hear about the most, and that's usually British boxers. Like I really like David Hay because for in the ring he's like very like quick, skillful, and powerful, and he makes for like entertaining, like good fights. And I also I was liking Carl Froch there as well, like for quite a while. And the recent fight with Groves was very interesting.
I didn't see that fight. Is that what we're watching?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Yeah. If you're following the build-up, it would have been more.
Yeah. He was losing it, until that barrage, which was controversial.
Yeah. And I actually have to say I really, really respect and admire the skill of Mayweather, who is considered the best in the world.
Yeah, he's very good.
And he trains like perfectly for something like over 10 years, 17 years now.
He's never lost professionally, is he? That's crazy.
He's supposed to be one of the people who train like the hardest and most diligently, most on schedule all year round.
And he's a good bit older now, isn't he? He's in his very late 30s. Yeah, and he's a lightweight. So lightweights generally don't stay boxing that long. Like you generally the heavier weights can stay. Look at George Foreman, came back when he was in his mid 50s.
48.
Yeah.
No, man, he was in his
mid
50s. He was in his 50s.
Was he already in his 50s, past 50? And he beat
into his 50s. He was eating.
He beat Michael Moore to become the heavyweight champion of the world ever.
X amount of burgers every day. That's where the George Foreman grill came from.
Crazy.
He was cooking he was eating so many beef burgers a day, like that. Someone put two and two together. Says, hey, you put your face on the thing for making burgers and losing fat. That's a winning combination,
Wouldn't recommend that now, to be honest, but generally,
yeah.
I'd say he would have done better without all those burgers, but whatever.
Anyway, cool. Let me ask you a question. Like I came across your videos on YouTube, and to be honest with you, I thought to myself, here's a guy, possibly the happiest guy I've ever seen in the world. I don't know, I was thinking, I want some of what he has, How do I become a happy person? Because I'm not a very happy person, I have kind of spells of happiness. I don't know, Kieran.
When did you first start seeing them?
Very rarely.
A few months ago. To be honest.
He's always complaining. He had everything handed to him. And there's nothing but complain and give out about everything.
Yeah. Like the smallest thing sets me off. No, but like
these two are like they're really good. They're friends and acquaintances and mixed martial art buddies. They both do mixed martial arts, which is an introduction to them.
Yeah.
When I was really surprised just before we were recording, we were just saying like we had a lot of similarities, and then we found out we were both liked mixed martial arts and boxing, and it was really funny.
Yeah. It is funny because I was trying to kind of see the parallels between how you can be a really nice guy and really spiritual, and then the whole kind of the violent side of that kind of thing. But like
it's almost like an outlet. Like you can't have like 100% spirituality, in my opinion, and live in the real world. If you know what I mean. Like everything is spiritual. I'd say obviously enough, everything is spiritual, and we're living in a spiritual type of world. You could say easily. But yeah, it's just like in moderation, or like to a degree. Like I think anything which is that gets you excited and feel good. That's what I'd suggest. If you resonate with it and it makes you feel excited and feel good and it makes you feel alive, or anything like positive in those manner, like it's good to feel the way, because most people in this world, they don't actually feel alive. And there's a good book like which I heard of recently. I thought the name of the book is very good. It's called Feel Alive. And I think that's a really good book. I was thinking I could have used that for my book. Only kind of joking a little bit there, but yeah, it's a really good like name. Feel Alive. Most people feel like dead or like covered in a huge weight or a shadow, or just drearied out from the world. So like a lot of spiritual teachers talk about like feel good, or like some of you guys have probably heard about Bashar. He talks about follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability, take it as far as you can go with integrity, and then in the next moment do whatever you find like your next moment, like highest excitement. Just keep going from highest excitement to highest excitement. And that's like following your soul, or like excitement is the actual frequency of your soul translated to physical form.
Does that mean
and it feels amazing.
Following what you love to do? Is that what that means?
Yeah. What turns you on, like what your passion is, what excites you, what turns on your switch, etc.
Okay. I wonder what you can do if you've missed that boat. Like, you know, say for instance, if, I don't know, somebody wanted to become a mixed martial artist and they were too old.
Well,
you know, what's the...
take it as far as you can in that particular moment, and then in that particular moment, take it as far as you can, go on to something else you find very exciting.
Yeah.
So it's basically, in other words, he's saying, feel fantastic and stay as much as you can in the energy of feeling like turned on, tapped on, tuned in, excited, live, bursting, energetic, vibrant, like floating, etc. Just like totally tuned in. Like if anyone's like listening or watching now, which everybody is, they are hearing this, like just think about what makes you feel alive. What's your biggest passions and like joys in life? Maybe it's like children if you're a mother, or maybe it's mixed martial arts if you're really interested in that, or maybe it's going for a run at sun, like dawn, or it could be loads of different things. It could be singing or whatever your gift or passion is, your talent.
Sure.
So everyone is different, and that's cool. So yeah, it's really, really important. Like feeling fantastic also ties in with like just being really like, if you feel like love and you've let go of the blocks of love and you feel love, that's not so much exciting, but it's more like feeling very good. So it's just really important to feel good.
Cool.
And most people haven't learned this when they're growing up because they're told to focus on other things instead of feeling good. Like do this in college and get a job and be a good person.
There's nothing else you need to know. You just have to do that. And you know, there's a lot of knowledge that should be passed on. In one of your videos, you're saying it's about acquiring the knowledge. And like that can be take a long time if you have to do it by yourself.
Yeah, knowledge. As one of my friends who's like a really big inspiration to me, he's like extremely kind. He says like a while ago, he was saying to me like educate yourself, or like non-education brings anger. That he's Lithuanian, so his English isn't perfect, but it's pretty right. Non-education brings anger. It's like basically if you're ignorant or you don't know stuff, then you end up assuming things and presuming things about other people, like they're trying to do this, or this is bad for you when really it's maybe good for you, or the opposite. So like if we don't understand people, often we just think really bad things about them, or like, you know, different cultures, different nations, like different people, parts of our family. So yeah, education and information is really important. Oddly, funnily enough,
that's true. Like it's kind of like the media especially tries to kind of set the agenda for, look at these guys in that country, look at that, look at those gypsies, for instance, you know, look what they're up to. And then the government, you know, if the government wants if they have their own agenda, like especially the American government, you know, they want to get their hands on some certain people or some certain guy, they'll really kind of promote the idea that this guy is evil, we're the good guys, they're the evil guys, let's go get them.
Precisely. That's like even the far end spectrum, where they're actually even saying, deliberately trying to like program you with the idea that people are terrible or our country is terrible. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, and it like the lead up recently even to the Syrian conflict and things like that. They were all about, oh, Bashar al-Assad, such a bad guy. Wait a second, he was sitting having dinner with John Kerry like 2 years ago in Washington or something. It's all like bogus.
If anyone tells you that they're not using the media to manipulate you, they're under the manipulation of the media.
They obviously don't know what the.
I actually always laugh at it. Like I don't ever let this get me down, and I agree with the idea. Don't focus too much on it. Like become aware of the facts or the informed information as much as possible, but don't make your whole life about this and dwell on negativity and hopelessness and despair.
It's a big bag of that, all right? Yeah. That's
just know what you don't want by seeing the facts. Know what you then learn. Use what you don't want as a launching pad towards the newborn like desires and feelings and inspirations of what you do want. So, for example, if you're bullied, that launches like feelings of like, I don't want to be bullied, like I hate bullying, and now I don't want a partner that bullies me or is bullying or is selfish. So all these things we experience that people like let's say might call bad, they actually serve a really good like purpose and thing in the evolution of our own life and just humanity as a whole. So it's definitely not bad, like the bad things that are happening necessarily in many regards. Like I wouldn't want to call them bad on a deeper scale at all, but in a practical simple level they're often extremely good, because they can lead, if we let them, if we don't focus on them excessively, then we can let it teach us to focus on everything that we do want as a result, which is like peace, harmony, equality, respect, reverence, gentle care, etc. and we can then let that grow and flourish in our own life by focusing on those things instead of feeling really upset and annoyed and angry of all the other stuff. So it's like it's sort of like evolutionary. Like Hitler, for example, like taught the whole world we really, 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 really want peace, instead of like, yeah, peace is an idea I heard once. Like if everything like okay, but because of World War, like many people say that Hitler could have served as a catalyst for the New Age, and along with other like people and things like which were catastrophic. He brought humanity to a level where we really, really, really want to experience like joy and like togetherness and like friendliness, peace, but at an intense level. So often the more intense the negative thing, it breeds and borns like really intense opposite things that we'd call positive. So it's actually really, really good in that way. And then like that's really, really affects a lot of people. So for me, I'd personally say new souls coming into the world, they now have an opportunity to come into a world where like these things are going on, and that's the direction and the flow of the world where we're heading. So I like to look positively, saying we're in the golden age. It's already started. It's just growing, and it'll take a few decades to keep like really manifesting like more and more and more. And it's just a matter of each individual not focusing on like what they don't like and don't want, but seeing what they don't like and don't want, but then focusing and letting being born within them strongly what they do want, and let that inspire them to take actions in the physical world on a practical, real level, rather than just like spiritual, like in the cave level, or just meditating in the room all the time, but doing nothing in the real world. So it's a really, really physical, practical thing where you do things and you organize things, you start things, you do inspire things to help people, educate people, what you guys are doing as well, inform people, spreads like knowledge, information, and just be love, and be the excitement, be the passion, be the helping people or the calling, and then the more people do this, the more the whole world like will change like really, really quickly.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think that the golden age, like people are calling it all sorts of things? Well, I know exactly what you mean. I've been calling it the revolution.
Oh, okay.
Do you think that's coming? Like, do you think that's coming sooner rather than later, or do you think
I think it's definitely here already,
getting bigger and bigger, or do you think it's already here?
I think it's definitely here because of the internet. Basically speaking, I call this the internet age because it's like revolutionary. Because it breeds what you said, education and information. It's like it's the free biggest library at your fingertips. So better take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's already here. It's changing. Like just even the fact these things are going on, and like all the YouTube videos and everything, it's like big changes. Like I think it's really big changes.
I think sometimes though, like there's almost saturation.
You know.
Do you ever feel like there's like almost saturation? Like there's too much information, there's too much content. Like there's too many TV stations, there's too many good videos to watch, there's too many good people to follow. You know, like I've lists of people on Twitter that I follow, and you know, like they might tweet too much during the day, and like you kind of sit down and you realize, God, I've been on Twitter for 2 hours reading messages, and you think, where's my day gone? Does that not become a form of procrastination? Because you're kind of living in your own kind of bubble in a way. Like it's not a reality; it's the reality of other people. And it's like when you look at Facebook and things like that, people only put the positive stuff on Facebook. They don't tell you about the
dirty laundry.
They don't tell you about them sitting at home crying to themselves because like they're afraid they're going to lose their house, or you know. So in a way, I think the internet sometimes also, even though you've got all the really good stuff, a lot of the time the bad stuff is kind of hidden away.
Can be, on
a personal level,
definitely,
if you know what I mean.
So sorry for all the saturation of my excessive Facebook posts in the past, guys. On a funny little story, like one person who I used to live with many years ago, she unfriended me because she said like what I'm doing is wrong and posting too many stuff on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, but that was back in the day, like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, where like loads of like Facebook feed was like much bigger, and now it's much more selective with who goes through. Who sees the things that you post.
Yeah, but people can be. I've kind of tended to do that actually, kind of just stick people to the side, not unfriend them or whatever, but just kind of say, put you in your little thing there because you know there's too much stuff coming. You try to focus. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to clear out the house a little bit so that you can really focus on the important stuff. That's what I find.
You're totally right though. Like I fully agree. Like most people usually be women who might say, generally speaking, I'm having a bad day or I'm crying or something like that, and there's people who make those posts and it's like it's real, and I like that. Like I respect it, etc. I generally don't like to put up too much sort of like personal like negative type of stuff in my too much. It's mostly just like more uplifting things. Just but when you said about me, like I want to be more like that, more happy.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like a human being, like, because it's very easy it's actually kind of like programmed into us for some reason at this age, and probably even in the past too, to just put people on like some sort of like heroic pedestal, or as if they're perfect, or like a guru or a saint. But I promise everybody that all gurus are just that if they're human, they're human. Like Jesus was human, and he went through all like the emotions too, but he just was more advanced overall and had a higher level of consciousness and awareness and understanding. Maybe presumably like lots of stuff, but
Even the Dalai Lama is like that. When he talks, he just talks about, he's just really kind of a plain talking guy, isn't he?
Yeah, really
just
funny
really
as well.
kind of and funny and just plain talking, and he smiles. I think Russell Brand said that. He goes, "What's your secret?" or something. He goes, "Always smile." So he says something like that, something really simple,
Very nice.
People wonder about you when you smile a lot, and he really kind of just give a little quirky smile. Then he kind of really
yeah,
he's right. Yeah,
the Dalai Lama's
what's
cool.
his secret? He smiles a lot. This is the abundance, happiness in life. But like I know in your own videos, from watching your own stuff like that, you weren't always a very, very happy guy. Like you went through your own troubles in the past that kind of led very much to your own spiritual awakening. Yeah,
Totally. Yeah. Like I used to be miserable. Like for a long, like overall, I'd say I had a pretty tough life. Like for a person my own age, like I had a pretty, like compared to most people in my school, for example. And I'm sure, like basically you guys probably, I'm sure you did. Yeah, of course you did. And everyone probably watching this probably had like pretty hard upbringing. So hard upbringing just breeds desires. Eventually you just want peace and positivity instead of like being miserable and sad. So yeah, I went through like a lot of things in my past, and like a lot of loneliness and like sadness and like just maybe feelings of like just like abandonment possibly when I was younger, but probably I didn't even feel that. I can't even remember feeling that, but that's something that sprang to my mind when I was like just now because of something recently. But yeah, basically just like sadness and loneliness and despair and hopelessness. And I kind of like lost the so-called life that I knew when I was around 20 because I became really like unwell and sick. I became like I was dead fit and like athletic, and I used to be generally like one of the strongest usually I'd be the fittest person or one of the fittest or strongest people. I was really like macho and proud of my like physical ability, and I wasn't at anything.
I can't imagine you being macho, just kind of beating people up.
I was crazy, fanatical and extreme actually. My motto was actually be extreme. And
that's not a bad motto. When you're that age, you have the energy.
You should have patented that. You could be like, just do it like Nike.
Yeah. And I was really competitive. Like I'd be silently very competitive with everybody. Like, and I was really competitive with myself. So when I'd go running in the running club, that'd be way easier for me than going running on my own, because I'd be slowing down to keep up with the runners with me in the running club.
Okay.
As in not slowing down, but not pushing myself as hard. But when I was on my own, I pushed myself really, really hard.
Right.
And I also had the belief system like exercise makes you stronger. No pain, no gain. No gain. No pain, no gain. Exercise makes you stronger. And be extreme, and I just overall like all my belief systems like led me to like basically go overboard and do like I stepped up my like basically 7 days a week of exercise, which was already really fit, to doing like 7 days a week but like way less recovery and much more intense with sprinting and stuff. And it changed my life because it made me get really sick, and I lost the identity and the person who I thought I was. Like, and
did you
like,
burn out or?
Yeah, massive burnout. Like loads of times, I kept burning out because I kept thinking like exercise makes you stronger and mind over matter. Yeah. So I had like a whole like silly, like immature, like uninformed beliefs.
Yeah, so I grew up the exact same age, the exact same fucking problems. Like no one knows anything. Like especially in Ireland about health or fitness, it's just laughs.
Ruining your central nervous system was getting such a jolt every time that you were just damaging it.
Yeah, everything went like totally out of balance and out of whack. Like, and I ended up like eventually. It took like quite a long time, like a year maybe, to just keep on like hammering myself down into a really, really lower and more weakened, lower, depleted, tired out, exhausted state. And I'd have like twitches in my quads and twitches in my body, and like it's just like muscle spasms because of some electrolyte imbalance or magnesium, sodium. Yeah, just a whole lot of stuff got burnt up, like my reserves and restores of energy and nutrients. So yeah, my whole life just like switched overnight basically, or really, really quickly. Because even though it took maybe a year to get to the lowest point, like I lost like, my quads got like injured like badly too for some reason, and it even shows in my irises, like iridology. This guy I said nothing about said in around your knee to your hip area. There's like you have an injury there. I think it is. This cool guy called Dr.
Looking at your
Morse.
eyes.
Yeah, the irises like show everything. Like
Wow.
if you've had an aborted baby, or if you've had a baby, or if you've done this or you've done that. Like if you have weak adrenals, kidneys, if you have an eye issue, if you have a pineal gland or a thyroid, it's all in the eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Pretty much kind of like reading a palm or something like that, is it?
I suppose so.
Not a
Well,
palm,
like if you're
whatever.
trying to suss someone out, like where do you look? You don't look at their ear, do you?
Yeah, but how
Look in their eyes,
close are
like,
we talking?
just grab
I've
them.
actually got in one of my eyes. I've got like little bits inside my eye came away, so that I have shadows on my eye. So I can, when I look, like I see shadows, little tiny shadows, kind of will cross
do
over
you?
my eyeball. Yeah.
Oh.
And nothing can be done about it because it's on your eye, on the inside of your eye. So.
Wow, is that from mixed martial arts?
No, nothing like that. No, I just
Not being punched in the eye.
You know, it was years ago. I just kind of noticed it one day, and the doctor says, "Yeah, can't do anything about that. It's quite common."
They can't do anything yet.
Oh, years time, yeah, like
to fix it for you now.
Go in with the laser gun and burn it out.
Yeah,
You know, 20/20 vision when you're like 80,
yeah.
kind of thing. But you're saying, like obviously you're a big guy when it comes to herbs. You deal a
Yeah.
lot in herbs and the whole diet side of things. So, and you started to get into that side of things after your.
It took many years.
Yeah,
Like I didn't know what happened to me, and no one in my family knew what was happened to me. So apart from being like this sort of like really like self like kind of like cocky or whatever the word is, like really like proud or like body identified and infatuated type of person, like really always like I used to even have like records run to the shop. How quickly I could run to the shop and back, how quickly, like how many steps I could run up the stairs in,
Yeah,
that's
how many
class,
my
yeah.
maximum press ups records, like any old record I'd make. It was crazy. Are you the same?
I was running up the steps thing and
Yeah.
like down to the shop on my bike and back. Like just my
Yeah,
quads would be on fire. Like,
You're
it
like
was
my twin. Like
You have a twin?
no, but I think
No.
you're my twin.
You do now.
Because we both have like three brothers and a sister. And,
Yeah.
I know
And we
some
like
other
Star Trek.
stuff. We both like Star Trek and
Athletics. Like I used
we're
to,
both the
I
same
used to-
age, are we?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, 31.
I used to train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday in athletics, and just doing like laps of 200s or 400s. And then one Sunday, I didn't warm up properly, and I was on the back straight, and I was flying like I'm so fast, and I heard it pop, and I popped a ligament in my groin.
Oh.
In your groin?
I kind of kept
Ow.
going and going, and I got so sore, and I was so embarrassed, and I just kind of veered off to the right into the bushes.
It's
and I was
crazy,
like,
isn't it?
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
I just kind of walked out. and
groin
gone,
is a
and that
sore
was it.
one. Yeah, even when you just pull it but popping it, ow.
Yeah,
Nasty.
yeah, it's grand now though. It took me a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
Serious physio and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like it's the fact that I couldn't say I was 17, I guess, or 16. I couldn't say like I've hurt myself.
Yeah, I was the
just
same thing.
didn't
Like I
wanna,
just didn't want to stop. Like,
Yeah.
and it's funny when you keep going. Like, that's the worst thing. Like, that's when you need to stop. When you're injured or sick or unwell, or you need to generally slow down or stop.
Yeah, your body is telling you you
Yeah.
have a problem here.
Yeah, yeah.
Houston, we have a problem.
I had like
Sorry, I'm not
0%.
listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just like you see a lot of guys, even like actually going back to mixed martial arts, you see a lot of guys who overtrain. Junior Dos Santos, when he was in the Junior Dos Santos fighting Cain Velasquez, like he said afterwards, I overtrained. That happens, seems to be a kind of thing quite a lot, where you kind of hit your peak fitness and you go past it, and your body is kind of saying, oh no, I'm breaking down here, but you keep pushing and keep pushing, and then you don't get the best performance because you've gone over the kind of the tip, you know.
There's a fine line. You can very mildly overtrain, but as long as it's part of like the getting to perfect like highest point before a competition.
Yeah.
But you have to be very careful with it and knowledgeable and basically bring it down again quickly and regather yourself quickly.
Yeah.
And when you're really fit, your recovery powers are like really massively quick and potent. Like I used to have fantastic, like any fit person might be able to run like, they could train 6-7 days a week if they really wanted to, depending on the intensity. And maybe like Paula Radcliffe, like she used to run something like 20 miles a day on average, or 140 miles a week. But if you're really fit, your cells are absolutely like tuned and like totally like perfect. So really in a like a fine oiled engine. But when you go overboard, then you're testing yourself, even the fit body. And if you go overboard a fair bit and then you stop getting, you have to be careful. Like the whole, it can really lead to a downward spiral and it can take a long time to recover.
Yeah, I find myself, I have to watch if I train too hard on the next day. Like, no, minimum. I'm doing the minimum today. That's it. There's no training around it.
And that's when you recover and get stronger.
Yeah, that's you need those days. Like But I used to not have to do that. That's the thing, you know.
I wouldn't know about that. I've never been that fit. I thought I was driven like you guys. You guys sound like Olympians or something with all the.
But I mean, it takes that nuttiness, like to.
Nah, you're good though.
you know
Like
what I mean?
driven is good, but being stupid and extreme and fanatical and having zero body awareness, that's like a negative thing. If you want, it taught me all the best things in life. It taught me like severe loss and loads of like negative, like I'll just call them like bad emotions, bad feelings, which they're not bad for anyone like watching. Of course, they're just like negative type of feeling. But yeah, they taught me lots. They taught me everything, like, because my whole life direction changed completely and utterly because of that. It was like my biggest life changing event, probably, along with like one or two other little things. But yeah, I've had like, we've all had big lessons, but that was one of my own personal like biggest lessons because it changed everything. Like, and like no one understood what was wrong with me. Some people thought I was faking it or looking for attention, so I had a lot of like psychological and emotional like things compounding it, and no one supporting me really, and no one understanding me, which made it harder. But it's all cool though. Like, I'm happy it happened now at this stage, but it just took forever. I'm still recovering, actually, funnily enough. But superfoods and herbs like really, really helped me loads because I really depleted myself. So bringing in like loads of non-depletion, like superfoods and herbs, and like building up all my hormonal system, my digestive system, and my glands, my adrenals, my muscles. Like, it's really helping me loads. Whereas another person, like, I always say that your weakest link, when you fill that in, that's when you get the biggest benefits and the fastest like benefits. Fill in your weakest link. So you fill in the biggest hole or gap that you have, and you'll notice the most equilibrium along the board. That's the best value for money. So another person might have a lot more toxicity and rather than depletion, and if they do, they might need to cleanse more. But I didn't need to cleanse as much as I need to rebuild. So but I think superfoods and herbs are brilliant for everybody because our whole life we've been depleted. And even
our diets,
totally. Even in 1936, like the American like Congress said, the soils are getting really depleted, and if we continue this way, people are going to get really sick. And that was in 1936. And since then, like, the soils have just gotten worse. So all of our food is like basically poor quality,
especially nutrients,
especially minerals.
Very low minerals. That's the issue.
And they're really, really important. So that's where you need wild food.
I bet you eat pink Himalayan salt or Himalayan salt.
I eat it. Yeah, I have that, or else maybe sea salt. But I have the pink Himalayan salt, and I've been having it lately.
Yeah, that's delicious stuff.
Kieran is actually a training nutritionist in.
Sweet.
Yeah, I love
DCU,
nutrition.
isn't it?
UCD.
So
I was in UCD.
Where are you?
I did science for 3 months, or around 2.5 months. That was in like the year 2000, I think. And then I left after taking a week off to watch the Olympics because I didn't even like the course, actually, to be honest. And I was sick and tired of mainstream school and just like the whole thing, and I needed a break badly, like psychologically.
I dropped out in 2000 as well.
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah. Here, snap.
Yeah.
Funny stuff.
But like you're like what you put into you, like it's a huge deal. No one.
What you put in, you get out, kind of thing.
Like no one's like
really important. Yeah.
Like it's the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. What you put in.
Yeah.
In here and then in your belly.
Totally. For me too. Yeah. Like you might have. I was thinking a minute ago when you said about like, more pains these days. If you got on more superfoods and herbs, and like just generally like built up and cleansed some of your organs and your general body, like you do better for definite. Like everyone would do better. Like actually, if I was a mixed martial artist like you guys, that'd be my number one priority to try and like have top performance. Otherwise, get your head bashed in.
It's so expensive though. It's so expensive, isn't it? Don't you find that anything that's well, I always when I go into a health food store, I find everything is like. It is very expensive. But
I buy an iHerb, and I'm affiliated with them because they're like wholesale prices basically for things when you don't even buy wholesale. Really, really good value. Like it's like the Argos or the TK Maxx of the herb supplement health food store holistic world. So you can get like shampoos, natural cosmetics, soaps, superfoods, herbs from the best companies, superfoods from the best companies. You can get like natural house cleaners, things for. You can get anything natural, basically.
Where does it come from? Is it American based or British based?
I think it's American based. I think it's iHerb.com, but I think there's an iHerb.uk. But they do loads of discounts. I mean, you shop there for like a month or 2 or 3. If you order a few different things, like you get an extra discount, and there's discounts at Christmas too. So I've been ordering like organic chia seeds lately and organic hemp seeds. At like really good
hemp
price.
Seeds, man, that's the shit. Organic hemp seeds, they are complete nutritional profile.
Complete, one of the best. Yeah,
it's unreal. It's great stuff. Like, and you're stranded on a desert island and you're allowed 6 foods. What are they?
coconuts. I'm on a desert tropical island.
Get into the nitty gritty.
Coconuts for definite, because coconuts, like, you can get oil, you can get the coconut cream by mixing up the coconut meat, the coconut water. You have all your like natural electrolyte rich coconut water. Some of my favorite superfoods also would be like hemp, because hemp is brilliant. The hemp seeds and just the whole hemp plant.
It's great for everything.
It's hard eating. Like, how do you eat it actually? Hemp seeds, yeah.
Well, I bought like from the place anyway. You can buy it just in the health shop or wherever.
Go to owenfox.org for all your herbal needs. Owen supplies through his website.
Yeah, you can check out, have a herbs and superfood like place on my website. But like
they're like milled.
Yeah, they're shelled, so the shell isn't there anymore.
Cold
so you just have the
pressed,
seeds.
Isn't it? Cold pressed and all this kind of
If
thing.
you want to get the oil, but you can. I just eat the seeds too in salad, or else just by the spoon. They're really nice.
I have hemp protein outside, which is cold pressed. It's really cool.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah, I'll show it to you after.
That's supposed to be amazing. I hear that's the best protein source in the world. It's really high, really, really easily absorbable.
Hemp seems to be good for everything, like paper, oil, soaps. Like, it's amazing, and yet it's it's kind of
making spaceships
semi-banned. Like, if you go
because it's so good.
Yeah, but that's it, isn't
medicinal.
Yeah, we won't start talking about him too much, because that's a huge story. You could do a whole show just talking about him. Well, you could talk about him all week long, but it's just so strange. Anyway, enough said about that.
The other things you mentioned, about say hemp, coconut, chia seeds, they have the full amino acid protein essential to have all the essential fatty acids like hemp. They're like the two best seeds.
Chia,
Those two seeds are like real superfoods in my opinion, because like they're phenomenal. All the protein, amino acids, and then all the essential fatty acids. And essential fatty acids are really good for our brain, our nervous system, our skin, and just every cell. As far as I know, every cell membrane is made up of essential fatty acids. So
every cell.
They're really, really, really important. So,
like our brain, 60% of the dry matter in our brain is fat.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a huge issue. It's
crazy.
And like low fat diets being promoted, people are getting sicker.
Yeah, even the raw vegan diet has become really, really popular to have a low fat raw vegan diet. Do you know that?
Is that like kind of? It's not. No, sorry, paleo is the meat and the nuts, isn't it? Yeah.
Paleo would be the opposite, like non-vegan.
Yeah.
But the whole like I became part of, I suppose you could call it, like the whole like raw vegan or the vegan idea. Okay. I don't like the label too much now at all, and I don't. But a lot of the people there were talking about the low fat raw vegan, whereas you have like low fat. So they're talking about like don't have or have very little like nuts and seeds or oils.
Yeah.
But I know the value that God or Source or Mother Nature, all it is, made everything for a reason. The same way as it's about a journey, and all of our experiences are actually like equally worthwhile. They actually are. It's hard to get your mind around that sometimes, but only some are more like pleasurable or preferable. But everything is worthwhile in our experience, and for the whole of everything. Yeah. But so too is nature. Everything's put there for a reason. It's all of our medicine, all of our nutrients. Like essential fatty acids exist for a reason. Yeah. Our brain is made of essential fatty acids for a reason, and all this type of thing. So the ego is trying to like be minimalistic. It's this way or that way, black or white. But like the wiser, more like knowledgeable perspective, and the more holistic, is it's everything is grey. Like I'm both good and bad and violent and peaceful and everything. We're all two ends of the spectrum. Sure. The sinner and the saint, or the saint and the scoundrel, whatever you want to call it, we all have that within us, and it's all a matter of how much we're activating that energy, and that just comes from our thoughts, what we really focus on. Actually, you can say it so simply there, but it takes a whole life to try and like become that thinking. And
it's almost like kind of when the older you get, you kind of have an overview of the past, and you're looking back going, all right, I was like that for that affected me in that sense. It's almost like you're looking down on your life, isn't it?
Yes.
And you can't really do that when you're young, because you've nothing to look back at. Plus you don't have the life experience to kind of think. You do get wiser, don't you? Age does make you wiser.
Yeah, experience is the best thing ever. Like, experience is like, that's why I really respect like wise people. Like even like just traveling, like here. The man was older than me, and like really respected his like wisdom from his experience about children and kids and family and everything, and like someone in their 20s might not know, depending if they haven't got kids. So but I'm just trying to say, like the whole fat thing, like it's really important. Like, but not the cooked fat. I'm not biggest fan of that. And a lot of cooked oils are like not good for you. They get clogged in your liver and this and the other.
And stuff.
Yeah, but if you have like the raw living oil, like it's really phenomenal for you. Like coconut oil has like loads of uses. Then there's olive oil is another brilliant one, or just olives, or eating the coconut flesh.
Avocados, do you like avocados?
They're brilliant. Yeah. Try getting one that's soft, and creamy, and probably a bit more expensive. Like one thing I learned this year is like you get what you pay for. Yeah, like with the herbs, I just buy the best, and then you can have them less if you want, but you get more bang for your money than a really cheap one, which has worse quality, much worse quality, way less ethical standards and product standards, and they often, the cheaper stuff has like fillers and other fake ingredients to try and like make more money. So it's not about being ripped off or trying to like make the most money out of people. It's like integrity. Basically,
don't buy your herbs in China. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like
don't buy any food in China, actually, because
like my course in college is based on around the food industry in Ireland, and like whatever, if they need to spray it with like cancerous radioactive goop to make it travel across the world over here, that's what they'll do. So like peel your skin, look at the sweet potatoes.
Well, really, even regular spuds, just
well,
peel
they
everything.
won't last. You see, if you go to an organic market, you see a lot of the stuff. There's like a bin under it, and it's like full of rotten stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because that's supposed to last that long.
Things are supposed to rot.
Gone. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like those McDonald's burgers don't go off.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
And I bought an Aldi melon once as a test with my friend Minda, my best friend, and we kept it in his car for 4 months, and it was the exact same after 4 months.
Wow. How do they do that then? Is it something, are they messing with the DNA?
Yeah, I think it's like,
what, GMO kind of stuff?
It's either GMO or else it's very crossbred to be like made that way by just crossbreeding.
To make it really durable, so that it travels well, it doesn't bruise, and
like one of the biggest things that's happened in modern society is, you see, Hippocrates 5,000 years ago apparently said, like, let food be thy medicine and let medicine be thy food. But that's because 5,000 years ago, all the plants were basically, most of the plants would have been natural wild foods. And a wild food is extremely sturdy and it has loads of like alkaloids and like phytonutrients, which are the medicinal compounds. So when you would eat dandelions or whatever else would be, it would be medicine.
Sure.
Like, I felt the best ever in my life when I've been having juiced wild foods, like wild greens, regularly, just before I went away to Asia last year. Because they're like the best superfoods. They're like real, true superfoods, and they're true medicines and herbs. They're amazing. But now, because of crossbreeding, we've crossbred the medicine in favor of sugar. So the medicine is often like has a tang or a bitter flavor and stuff. So if you take a wild blueberry or a bilberry, it's way less sweet and it's much smaller. But we've crossbred it to keep trying to make the new generation to be a bit sweeter and a bit maybe bigger,
to make it marketable,
and lasting longer too. But the medicine has gone out and the sweetness has gone in. So I'm actually not against anything, and I'm not like against sweetness, which is good because carbohydrates is a part of the equation, and my motto would be all within like sensible balance and moderation. But so herbs basically, now we've taken we're looking outside of our food, which is crossbred, trying to get medicine, and that's when you go back to the wild plants again, so like dandelions, thistle, horsetail.
What's the best herb out there? If you had to go with one herb, like is there any standout herbs?
Good question, actually, because it'd really be interesting to the viewer. I'd love to hear that question too, probably. To be honest, like I couldn't say. What I have to say, it depends on your biggest weakness or your weakness or your what you need. It depends on what you need. Yeah, it could be dandelions for somebody with like a kidney or liver issues. I take dandelion tea regularly and nettle tea and loads of like,
these are all stuff. These are all indigenous to Ireland as well. Like, you're not talking about herbs that we have to import. You can get these all. In
if you want. I'm trying to think of some shit that's wrong with me, and I can ask him like, what herb? But I can't think of anything right now.
Well, energy. You probably want more energy, less stress. So just superfoods would be my number one recommendation for anybody, and that's by really good quality superfood powder from anywhere you want. You can get it on iHerb, you can see it on my website, my herb recommendations. Or if you don't want to like contribute any money to me and my cause, it's a small fraction, 4% of the order. Just do your own looking and researching and investigating. But like, I think Vitamin Mineral Green or the company Health Force Nutritionals are like top of the top. They've even invented their own standards, like called True Organic, because organic by the USDA in America is now being corrupted by the USDA. So something that used to be called organic is now maybe it's mostly organic or something like that, or half. Who knows
the
what
processes? It's fucking. It's not right. You know what I mean? It's taking a piss, really.
Like they're even messing with the milk these days over there. They're talking about putting is it aspartame?
Are they aspartame or whatever?
Yeah, aspartame. Put it in the kiddie milk to make it tasty. So the kids will drink more milk. But they're talking about putting a synthetic thing into milk, so the kids will take more milk.
And aspartame is very bad for you.
They're saying that there's some people are saying there's links with
fucking
ADHD
lethal.
and all this
Probably
kind of
is,
stuff because
yeah.
it's in
It's
soda
lethal.
drinks and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dick Cheney lobbied for years to get it in. And,
Oh, God, that guy's
it's
evil.
Fucking
He's
tumors,
evil.
depression. Like it's a neurotoxin. It's not good to
Oh
have in
man,
you. You're writing a book on, are you?
Yeah.
What's it called, or do you have it?
I am probably going to call it Golden Messages of Abundance, Joy and Celebration. I know it's maybe long, but Golden Messages could be the short way of abundance, joy and celebration.
Yeah,
It's probably coming out in maybe January, February, March.
Brilliant.
January, February of
Excellent.
2014.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Can't wait for that.
And I have another one actually basically more or less written, but the first one got delayed loads, and that's why I have a second one basically written, and I don't know the name of that, but that should hopefully be out in 2014 for sure too.
Cool.
Hopefully then,
excellent.
yeah.
We'll be going to the book signings up in Dawson Street, up at Hughes, isn't it? Hughes and Hughes.
All right, hopefully that'd be good. Yeah, I'd like to
Cool.
become more like widespread and famous, because I don't know, being famous, or even not even famous, but being well known, or just doing your thing that you like to do, and then, like, I hope you guys become famous, if you know what I mean, or at least well known.
Yeah.
Well, I do you know what I hope? I hope that people will like look at us as someone who's trying to give them a message. You know what I mean? And like, I don't really want to be famous, or don't want to be on.
We don't
TV
want
all
any
the time and
groupies.
stuff.
We don't want any
Groupies.
No,
no
I'm not
groupies,
saying that.
please.
That's just him saying that.
You
But,
sure? Okay.
It'd be nice just to change people's minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not just to be arrogant to go we're right and they're not, but like just to help people see other points of view.
Yeah,
like yours.
I know.
It's like yourself. You're bringing a message to people which you
Yeah.
believe. And it's not a kind of a forceful message. Just like there's a different way to look at things. You know, there's a different there's an ulterior or an alternate way to run your life.
Definitely.
And it's a very good way, and it's good for the environment. It's good for your body. It's good for your spirit. So
Yeah.
why not?
Like beyond food, I think our thoughts and our energy, our vibration, our frequency is more important than what we eat, because everything that we eat, like our energy and like thoughts, mood, feelings, general well-being, emotionally and mentally, is like affects anything we do with our body. So like, the way, like what we think will, like if you think very anxious for 10 minutes, you could get like a big pain in your stomach and maybe like physical things, or if you think, so basically every second, like our thoughts and emotions it's all one with the body. So yeah,
Okay.
body comes second, but thoughts and emotions come first.
Come first,
But if you feel more passionate towards the body, then everyone's different, so you can do the focus on the body first.
Your mind can lead your body, and your body can lead your mind as well. It's good to have those tools in there.
Yeah.
So,
We've only actually got a couple of minutes left.
yeah, and manifestation.
We're yappers and ramblers.
Manifestation, like of pains and stuff through emotions. Yeah, that's a big one too.
Yeah,
that's great.
or the opposite as well. Like just help your body feeling good.
Sure. And like you actually talk a lot. If you just give it talk for a couple of minutes about relationships and relationship advice, because I see,
Ooh.
I know
I
you're
love
not
this
kind
topic.
of Cupid or anything like that, but in your videos you do talk a lot about relationships and the effects of modern living on
Well,
relationships.
yeah, jeepers, that's such a massive topic. I'd just say it's a huge learning experience of the soul, is what I'd probably say. Like, it's just a crazy like trip, like being in a relationship, like a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And we're all just learning and doing our best, and not to be hard on yourself with your mistakes, but just try learn from your mistakes. Try listen more, talk more is definitely a huge thing to do. All arguments only can happen when people are opening their mouth and talking.
Yeah.
So if you just zip your mouth and try listen to the emotions of the other person, especially, and care for their pain or hurt, which is they're going through that, if they're arguing with you or giving out to you or condemning you or whatever they're doing, So try understand their feelings and care for them. Maybe talk to them pleasantly, quietly, and listen to them a lot. Not to be wasting time with having to defend yourself or explain yourself necessarily. If they're angry and you're in a defensive mode, because that just leads to more angry. So give people their time if they need space. If they're angry, give them space, respect. Try not add to their hurt, but be quiet and say the nicest things you could possibly say, probably a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You need to have the intention to stop arguing or fighting or getting on bad, because like the way I said before, by being really sick, now I love being healthy. I love it, like it's so important. And from being really sad in life, now I love peace and happiness. But you need to have enough is enough, so to speak. If you're in a bad relationship, you need to say, I've had enough of this. If you haven't had enough, same if you're a drug addict, if you haven't had enough, you won't do enough to stop it. You won't want, the drive won't be there. So yeah, you have to really, really want to stop either fighting or having a bad time in your relationship or a disconnection of any kind. And I just try and also encourage to, understanding is the most important thing. Understand the other person's needs, where they are, what they're thinking, what they're going through. And then also try and bring in more like happiness, excitement, joy, and more fun, more creativity. Try and nurture your partner and bring out the best in them. Treat them like a prince or a princess, like when you first met, rather than like you're sick of them, you know what I mean? Yeah. You need, because you get into a habit of treating them like blasé, maybe, if you're not getting on well. But even if you're getting on average, if you want to like perk it up, then treat them like the queen or the prince or the princess, or whatever. When you first type of met, like be nice with words, names for them, or treats or surprises or this type of thing.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Instead of being passive aggressive.
Exactly.
Where's my dinner kind of thing. Yeah. Which a lot of people majority of people probably fall into that rut, don't they?
Yeah.
It's just kind of, I know people are.
No karate chops.
We got about 2 minutes.
Guys, can I ask you, like, what just like want to say to you, like, thanks a million, but you guys are doing great, and I hope you spread the word, because it's all about like uplifting the positivity, or uplifting people who are wanting to be uplifted, because only people wanting to be uplifted will be watching this. And so we're all helping each other, and it's cool. We all have our talents and gifts, so I hope everyone like abundance and richness that I'd like for myself, in like a healthy type of non-egoical type of fashion, if you know what I mean. And What, anything you guys want to say or add about your own thing?
It's been an absolute pleasure having Jan on. This has been a great episode.
Thanks.
It really has. Like, it's been even a great guy to talk to.
Thanks,
I
likewise.
feel absolutely super. Thanks,
likewise.
The happiness is contagious.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I'm sure you're going to be very happy down the country. Like, I know you're saying that you're an urban guy and you haven't really travelled around. Maybe we should take this opportunity to because like you'll find some really, really great people. Down the country, as they say, outside of Dublin.
Yeah, but myself, like,
like it's so like you'll have so much more space to think. You'll be able to look up at the night sky, and you won't have this. You won't have the city lights.
You guys have to come visit me, because we have 4 bedrooms.
Oh, cool!
Yeah.
Cool,
and before we started recording, we had like the most fun, best conversations ever. You know, we kept saying we should have been recording this. These guys are like super duper guys. So stay tuned to this station, and like hear what they're doing as well. Definitely.
Thanks, and subscribe to Owen Fox on YouTube and Facebook.
OwenFox.org, or check out Owen Fox on YouTube. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks a lot, guys. I feel lovely as well.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Thanks, Owen.
Cool.
Thanks.
Awesome.